Was good. Oh, let me see. Uh, all right. I'm gonna see if anybody hops on real quick. YouTube. They are starting to um award me the green money sign for some of these videos, so I'm putting them out. I am putting them out. Oh boy, a busy day for me, man. Going over evidence, more specifically, going over hearsay, which I have to say, man, hearsay is definitely a doozy for sure, man. Um, Evidence is just it's crazy, and then going over the exemptions. But tomorrow, I'm going to be able to observe a jury selection. I'm going to watch jury selections for tomorrow, so we will see how that goes. Hopefully, YouTube is pushing this live out. Hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully they are pushing this live out, letting people know that I'm on. So, oh man, busy day, busy day. I can't wait for this new year to come around. Lord say the same, because at that point, I can say that I have a year and a half left of law school, man, and I cannot wait. And when I say I cannot wait, I truly mean it, man. I cannot wait. Just the struggles that I've had to go through and endure, um, all the stressors that I've had to deal with outside of law school, things of that nature, man. I'm just definitely glad that I can say I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it is no longer a train. And I'm definitely glad about it. I know once that time comes to an end, I'm going to have to start doing bar prep. As far as, which areas of law that I'm going to practice, at this point, I believe it's going to be. Man, excuse me, man. It's been a long day. But I think the areas of law that I'm looking at practicing is most likely going to be some type of criminal law. And then I'll be looking at some type of, I don't know, employment law. And I think maybe I might, I don't know. I have to see. I would definitely like to look at doing certain types of civil rights cases where it might be wrongful death suits or excessive use of force cases, things of that nature. So something pertaining to criminal law, something pertaining to excessive use of force cases, and some type of criminal law. Because I know tomorrow I'm going to be sitting on a jury selections. So that's going to be interesting. So that way I can get a firsthand view of what it's like watching jury selections and saying, how it is. Now, I've already kind of made some bets. Now, I am not one of the officials that have any type of oversight or anything over these proceedings. I'm just a law student that's going to be observing. But during that time, though, I'm going to, I'm making a bet with a few other law students just to see how many black jurors are going to end up in the jury box for the trial because it's a felony trial. I can't remember what the case is about. It'll definitely be interesting to see, how the jury selections go down, how all that stuff works, all these different things. Whatever you do learn about it in law school, whether it be through an elective course or whatever, you're not going to get the real world aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely going to be interesting, man. But once the next year comes around, that's when I'm going to start doing my internship. That's when I'm going to, again, really start looking at which areas of law I want to practice. And the good thing is, once I, get out of working in the prison and once I start practicing law, I'm still going to be doing my social media activity. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. And you're going to get a really, really cool, different perspective, right? That's why I say my channel, it is just so unique. There is just so much promise to my channel. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm a law student working in the prison, so you're obviously going to get some good content just from that. But just imagine, right? Once I start, actively doing things in the courts, things of that nature. But if anybody's on, man, if y'all got any questions for me, I know a few people have gotten on and gotten off, but if you guys have any questions for me, man, hit me up. Let me know, man. What's up? The video just dropped about gunners, but the next video that I'm gonna post tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, is gonna be that video about black inmates in California, and the black inmate politics in California are almost identical to the black church politics nationwide. And I know for some people that's gonna be like a crazy concept. Some people may not understand because they've either never been in prison in California or jail in California, or they've never worked inside, so they don't know. But I'm glad that YouTube honored my what do you want to call it? YouTube honored my appeal, because they initially gave me a yellow money sign, but now I got the green money sign. So it's gonna be on and popping, man. I can't wait to release that video tomorrow. So y'all please be sure to watch that video, because I'm telling you, man, working in the prison, at least in California, I can't speak for any other prisons, right? Because I don't know how it works. All I know is West Coast California prison politics. That's all I know. So it's going to be very interesting for me to be able to kind of show people like how close the politics are, you know what I'm saying, in the church, in the black church, and within the black inmate population. Some people, I think they're probably going to be very, very surprised and very shocked. Let me see, man. I got people messaging me. Hold on. The My bad, man. My bad, y'all. I'm back. Somebody just gave me some good info. But yeah, like I was saying, man, hopefully I can't wait. Well, not hopefully, actually, I am gonna be posting that video tomorrow sometime. So y'all be on the lookout for it, man. Because again, I love, and here's the thing, right? And I had this conversation. It was a good roundtable discussion, just a few black brothers. We was just chopping it up. And two of the brothers, right? They came from the foster home system, right? They black brothers. They one of them aged out the foster care system, and the other one, he had to be in the foster care system for a few years. Both good brothers. They both got beautiful families. They're doing their thing. And we were just having a conversation, right? And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys on here real quick. And I was telling them that once I practice law, I don't. And this is just how I feel right now, but I don't have the gift. I do not believe that I have the gift to be able to just go and try to rally a bunch of black people and trying to get them to see the bigger picture and do these grassroots movements. I don't have that gift. I know I have the gift to help people. I cannot stand bullies. I cannot stand people that get picked on, whether it be in the workplace, you know what I'm saying, or other venues. And again, that's why I'm in school. But I was just telling the brothers, with the experiences that I had on the job, because, I was speaking out about racism in the job. Now, just think about it, right? For me to be a CO in the prison, and I'm talking about, racism that's going on, and I'm speaking out again, that's taboo. I don't know if some of y'all understand. That's why I'm saying my page is so unique. And as time goes on, I'm going to be able to roll other stuff out. But, I sounded the alarm about a lot of stuff that was going on. And unfortunately, a lot of black folks that said they was going to have my back and they said they was going to do this and do that, they left me hanging, period. And it was a really tough time for me. I can't even lie. It was really rough, but I learned some valuable lessons. I mean, just priceless, valuable lessons that I learned that I'm going to actually be able to take with me, when I practice law. And one of the things is I've learned when it comes to my people, right? It's like, and I already knew this, but it's one thing to just know something or hear about something, and then it's another thing to experience it, right? And one thing I can say I've learned is, don't fall for the misconception that just because somebody is black or they share the same skin color as you, that they're automatically going to be your ally, because you are going to be sadly mistaken. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be around good, solid people. Now, people that know me, if you've seen some of my videos, you know I love black people. You know I love black culture. And you know that I will defend black culture. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. And I'm going to actually do a video on that pretty soon, because there are people on my job, the officers, they don't like me. And there's other brothers like me that they don't like. And they don't like us because we're outspoken, right? We're not out there trying to tap dance. We're not out there trying to do the routine, trying to kiss the ring, do the Wayne Brady routine. We're just confident, smart black men. And so as a result, you know what I'm saying, you're just considered to be a troublemaker, right? You're not easy to work with, all those different things. So I don't even know where I was. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm back to it. So for me, I just know, as far as like with practicing law, I definitely know that I want to do some type of criminal law. I know that for a fact. I just don't know which type of criminal law. Now, if y'all got any questions, man, drop the questions, man, in the chat box. Let me know. Holler at me, man. But I'm trying to decide what I want to be. An attorney, the type of attorney that argues cases in court, trial court level attorneys, or what I want to be at the appellate level or post conviction work. And just with my observations over, these last few months of going to court, being a law school observer, man, I've noticed that it's tough, man, trying to be an attorney, you know what I'm saying, that's arguing cases in trial, live and in living color. That's not easy at all. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different moving parts. You have to pay attention to so many different things. And, the person that goes first is going to be the prosecution, the state. They're the ones that gets to go first. So they're going to present their witnesses, their evidence, all that type of stuff. So you got to pay attention to everything that the witnesses say on the stand. You got to be ready to object to different things that might be said. I mean, it's a lot. Whereas with post-conviction work, that means people that are already in prison or they're already in jail. Well, yeah, basically, yeah. Well, if they're doing jail time, but if they're doing jail time, they're not doing much time anyways. But say if you have a prison sentence, right? Post-conviction work just means that you're trying to fight to get back into the courts because you believe there was some type of procedural error that took place, or some type of unconstitutional acts that were taking place, that obviously that they call it that it prejudiced your case. So I don't know. Just at this point, how I'm feeling, I kind of think post conviction work kind of seems a little more appealing. But obviously, as time goes on, I will know more. But I just kind of feel like post conviction work, and for the people that just got on, post conviction work just essentially means, you went to the trial court for some type of criminal matter, you were convicted, you didn't like it, so you appealed because you believe the judge unfairly did something, or the jury instructions were wrong, or whatever the case may be. Now, if you guys have any questions, man, drop some questions, holler at me, man, throw them questions in the chat box. But I just kind of feel like post conviction work might be better for me, or I might enjoy it more, because when you're at the post conviction level, when you're appealing a case, you're only dealing with that case at hand. You're not introducing new evidence, right? So whatever happened in court, it happened. Wherever the chips fell, that's where they fell. And now it's your turn to look at everything and how it fell, and then you build your case from there. And then also, too, you're not dealing with a jury trial. You're dealing with the judges, right? You'll have at least like a minimum of 3 judges on the appellate level. It has to be odd numbers. And so I just kind of feel like that would be more appealing, because also you have more time to get things together if you need to file a motion for a possible extension, all those different things, man. The one thing I'm going to talk about, right? I'm going to do a video, because the beauty of my page, not only can I talk about the prison life, the violence, all that stuff, I can also talk about the legal system that I'm going to be getting into. And one thing I can say, man, is my perspective on public defenders, they have changed over time. And I can't even believe that I'm saying this, but I have actually considered the possibility of, well, I can't even say I've considered. I am actually at some point going to be a public defender. And this is why I say it, right? once I've had practice law, I mean, once I graduate, pass the bar, and I'm ready to practice law, whatever, and let's say I want to get into criminal law, I would be a complete fool to just say, you know what, I'm going to open up shop, I'm going to start my own criminal law firm, and we just going to start representing people. How in the world would I be effective at my job at being a criminal defense lawyer if I've never tried cases, if I've never been in court, if I've never had to go through jury selection, all those different things, right? So one of the reasons why you will see a lot of, and it makes sense now, right? Because when I first started going to court, again, if y'all got any questions, man, drop them in the chat section and holler at me. But one of the things that I learned, man, with going to court is the public defenders and the people that represent the prosecution, they are young. And when I say they are young, I'm talking they're like under 30 years old. So just imagine, right? You could be 40, 50 years old. You know, you could have been in and out of jail or whatever the case may be. And now you're sitting at the table and you look next to you and you have a person as a public defender that might be, 24, 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? They barely just learn how to clean their behind and keep their underwear clean. And now they have this awesome and weighty responsibility of trying to, either keep you free or reduce however long you would have to go away. And that's a heavy burden. And I can say for me, I know that at some point, right, once I get my license to practice, I'm going to have to be a public defender. It's the smart thing I know it sounds terrible because it's like I'm basically saying that's putting on my training wheels and I'm able to get my practice in. But I would rather get my practice in as a criminal lawyer, while I'm able to be supervised by other criminal attorneys. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, holler at me, man, in the chat box if you got something you want to say or you want me to speak on. But yeah, man, it's really tough. You know what I'm saying? And I've talked to a few lawyers, public defenders, and they're like, you can tell the difference between defense attorneys in criminal cases that they just graduated from law school, passed the bar, and now all of a sudden, they're practicing criminal law. Because here it is, you are practicing law, right? You're representing a person in court, but then you're asking the public defender, well, how do I do this? Or how do I do that? And I've seen it. And I'm just like, wow. Like the public defender, they're in court already. Their cases are stacked to the ceiling and they're trying to deal with their cases. And then all of a sudden, now you have this other person that's being most likely paid. It's hard to say if they're paid up front, but a lot of times criminal defense attorneys, they do want some type of money up front. So it's crazy. You're paying this you're paying this private attorney to represent you and they just don't know what they're doing. So I have come to the realization that at some point I am going to have to be a public defender. And again, I know it may sound bad because it basically sounds like, okay, I'm just trying to I'm practicing on the poor or I'm practicing on the disenfranchised, but that's not the case because although okay, yes, I'm learning the ropes, but at least I can say that I would be learning the ropes under supervision. I would be learning the ropes under the support of the other public defenders that have time in the game. Because I remember I sat in, it was on a preliminary hearing and I don't even remember what it was for. Oh, I think it was assault with a deadly weapon or something. I can't remember, but it was a preliminary hearing. And on the prosecution side, this dude was hecka young. I don't know. He may have been like 23, 24 years old, hecka young, right? So he was the one that was representing the state as the prosecution. But obviously you could tell he didn't know what he was doing. He was feeling his way through. And so he would have to turn around to the OG prosecutor that was kind of helping him out. So in the same way, on the flip side, right? What if, again, what if I decided not to be a public defender at a certain point, and then I just decide to start trying criminal cases? When I'm a private attorney, if I'm working on my own, who am I going to turn to get that help and get that coaching? Nobody. So that's why I can confidently say, right? I don't know how many years I would do as a public defender, but once I get that out the way or I be a public defender for a while and I branch out to practice on my own, I can say that I would definitely feel more confident and more comfortable about representing people. You know what I mean? And, I'm going to talk about that more, but Some of y'all, man, y'all awfully quiet, man. I see, a decent amount of people coming in and out of this live, man. But if you got any questions, man, if you got any concerns or prison talk or not legal questions that represent you, but just anything, questions about me going through law school, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. I'm going to be on here, just for a few more minutes, but I can definitely say I'm starting to get excited, man. I am starting to get excited, man. Y'all don't know, man. Law school is difficult, man. This has been the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, man. And here's something that's funny, right? Because there are some inmates that know that I'm in law school, right? Just inmate.com, and they might know they don't. It's not because I just wear a T-shirt that says, "Hey guys, I'm in law school." It's just they might see the type of books that I'm reading or the books that I'm carrying, so that the only thing for that would be some type of legal practice or legal learning. So it'll be funny, man, because sometimes you'll have an inmate that might come up to me, and they'll just kind of, I don't know, they'll do it in this nonchalant kind of way, right? They'll just throw it out there, kind of like just letting me know that, I know you in law school, man. Keep doing your thing or stuff like that. Nobody's gonna really, at least so far, no inmate has just come out and, well, no, I take that back. Actually, there was this one white dude. I take it back. I don't want to lie to y'all. It was funny, man. I was doing something. I don't remember what I was doing. It was some type of program that I was running in the prison. And so this white dude in a wheelchair, he's kind of a smart butt anyways. But he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I heard you learn the law, man. What kind of law you gonna practice?" And so I played it off. I was like, "Learn the law?" I was like, man, I'm stupid, man. I don't know what you're talking about. And so he knew I was, I knew that he knew what time it was, but I was just trying to brush it off. So there has been one inmate that has done it, but other than that, man, they a lot of them they kind of know what time it is. Word spreads. You call it inmate.com. It's like the rumor mill, but it's the inmate rumor mill. But yeah, man, this has been a crazy journey for me to say the least. Yo, you finally got on, man. Miss Butterscotch, you finally got on. You finally got on. What's good with you? What's good with you? Man, I was just getting ready to say, well, I was kind of already talking about it, but I am just glad that I am getting um, closer to the finish line. And in the beginning of this next year, I will have a year and a half left, and I will be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that light will no longer be a train. And you just don't know how good of a feeling it is, man. And I'm gonna keep it transparent for a second on here. Going through this process, man, of law school, I've had family members that have had run-ins with the law. They have some criminal cases or they've been in and out of jail, things of that nature, or just talking to different people that got caught up in legal situations where they didn't know the law. You know what I'm saying? They just flat out didn't know the law. It wasn't that they were bad people. It wasn't that they were criminals. They didn't know the law. And this is not legal advice because I am an absolute idiot. So don't believe anything I say because I'm an idiot when it comes to this. But one thing I can say is a lot of people don't realize that the police, they can lie to you. You know what I'm saying? They can flat out lie to you. And there's a lot of people that don't know that. And as a result of that, they're more susceptible to a lot of these tricks, and a lot of these schemes that are played. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just the type of cat that I'm never gonna forget where I come from. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna forget. Even I got people now that I grew up with, and I went my way, they went their way. You know what I'm saying? I avoided the jail and prison. Unfortunately, that was their portion. But I don't forget about them. I don't forget about their family. We need honest brothers and sisters in the civil rights. Yes, we do. But can I keep it real? I don't know. I don't think you were on earlier when I was talking about this, and I do agree with you. We definitely need more brothers and sisters in the civil rights fight. But if I could just keep it real, It is hard. And I'm saying this from experience. I'm not saying this like, I'm reaching in by behind to get this, but it is hard to try to lead black people, or it's hard to try to rally black folks to come together. It is so difficult. Now one day, I know I can't do it right now, but when I tell you guys all the stuff that I went through on the job, and the whistles that I blew about the racism and all this crazy stuff that was going on, it is going to blow your mind. And I often laugh because, sometimes among other CEOs, we just talk, and it's like we just often say, it's funny that I don't think the public, the general public, I don't think they really know all of the crazy stuff that goes on behind the walls. I don't think they know about all the treachery. And this is just among the other officers. You know what I'm saying? And so one day I will be able to just flat out tell the full story. But part of it that I can tell you, just to address what you were saying, is there was a portion of the issues related to racism in our department. You know what I'm saying? They was calling inmates, the N word, and referring to them as maetes and all this crazy stuff, just mad disrespectful. You know what I mean? And other black CEOs, they seen it, and some of them reported it, but a lot of them, they didn't report it. So I spoke out about it, right? I was like, you know what? I had enough of this, because it was like, y'all don't even have enough respect for us. Because, where I work, right, or in the places that I've worked, the black officers are severely outnumbered. I don't even know if we're even like 10%. So if I had to do like a pie, I would say like 85% of the officers, they're going to be white and Hispanic officers. And then maybe 10, maybe 12% are going to be black. So it is very, very hard on the job, because we don't run anything. We don't get to set the tone of the culture, none of that. So during this time, when I was, talking with a few black folks about, hey, man, I'm going to need you to do this or do that or whatever, majority of the people, they left me hanging. And it's so crazy because there were some black people that held me down, like no doubt. And I respect them for that. And I'll never forget them. And even when I practice law, I won't forget them. If they call to me and they need some help on something, if I'm able to help them, I will help them. But by and large, a lot of them, they stayed silent. They didn't say nothing. And so the only reason why I was able to step forward and be as vocal as I was is because I had all the receipts. That's why I was able to do it. There was no way that I was going to sound the alarm about the different things that was going on the job without any evidence. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I couldn't rely on just people just saying, oh, I got your back, oh, I got you. Because to be honest with you, I was out there looking like Kaepernick. I'm going to just keep it real for a second. I was out there looking like Colin Kaepernick, and I had like one or two Ed Reeds. I think that was, oh no, Eric Reed, I think. I think that was his name, the other brother that was kneeling with him. So all the other people that said, "Oh, I got you. I'm gonna do this, man," they left me hanging. So and honestly, it left a bad taste in my mouth, because it's like, wait a minute, you know, you guys are always complaining about the racism. You're complaining about the mistreatment, all the discrimination. But when are you going to do something about it? Like, when are you going to say, you know what? I had enough. It's time to take action. And for me, I guess maybe I'm just a different type of cat. You know what I'm saying? I've always been the type of person. I don't want to stand in a circle jerk and we just gonna talk and we gonna do all this, but we're not gonna take action. I'm just not that type of person. If we're gonna talk about a problem for all these times and this, that, and the other, at some point you're gonna have to take action or shut up. So I decided I wanted to take action. And again, it was very few that decided. So we used to do mock trials, and yes, mock trials is cool. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to participate in a mock trial, but yes, they definitely are cool. But here's the weird thing, right? It's funny, right? So even though I'm not able to participate in the mock trial, I'm actually going through my own legal stuff as we speak. You know what I'm saying? I got my department in court, and things are looking good. You know, the first part of it, I represented myself and I argued my case, and I was successful with moving on and having a trial, and then I was able to get an attorney to take the case. So, um, even though I won't be able to participate in a mock trial, you know, I'm still getting real world experience because, you know, I'm trying to bust my job upside the head, you know. But yeah, man, the civil rights thing, it is needed, and I think it takes a special type of person. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at, let's say, Kimberly Latrice Jones, and if anybody doesn't know who she is, if you're watching this video later, she is the one that did that Monopoly example. If you remember during the George Floyd riots, when he was killed by that disgraceful officer, they burned up Target, I think, and they did all these other things. And so she got up in front of the TV and she gave the analogy of Monopoly. And she was like, how can black people win when we were set back? Everything was designed to do this, that, and the other. So her, right? And then you have people like Tamika Mallory. You have people like Dr. Reverend Barber. All these different people, right? They're trying to do the grassroots movement thing. Excuse me. They're trying to, better the black community. But I'll watch different videos from them where they're just really just sometimes just downright disgusted. And I remember, man, I was watching a video from Kimberly Latrice Jones one day, and she was ranting. And she was just like, man, the black people, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to do this. And you don't understand. There's certain things you have to do, and blah, 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 blah. And when I was watching it, I got to keep it real. I was like, man, this girl is tripping, man. She's just, doing too much. She's just being emotional. But now that I've been through the fire, and now that, I got some stripes on my back, I understand where she's coming from. So, in my opinion, again, I just think as far as the civil rights thing and civil rights, it encompasses so much. So to concentrate it, right, when it comes to black people and when it comes to mistreatment of black people, things of that nature, um, those types of cases, it really takes a special type of person to do it. Just being quite honest with you, I don't know why my comments disappeared. This is weird. Okay, now it's back. Okay, so if anybody, man, if y'all got a question for me, holla at me, man. If you saw a video, if you like something in the video, if you didn't like something in the video, if you want me to expound on something, do you think you'll become a no? I do not want to be a civil rights attorney. Now, here's the thing though, right? Because civil rights, it encompasses so much stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not just for black people, right? It's so many different protected classes. But I think when you're saying civil rights, I assume, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume when you say civil rights, you're talking about, cases for black folks, things of that nature. And for me, um, I don't think I have it in me. Now, if a black person came up to me and they needed help because they felt like they were discriminated against and they were ready to put skin in the game and get down and dirty, oh yeah, I would represent them. But as far as trying to like do a grassroots movement to try to motivate black folks to come together and to get them out of this fear and to get people to move from just talking about something to being about something, it is extremely difficult. And I don't, any marginalized community is what I meant. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I would be open to it, but it just depends, right? Now, again, now there's more people on, so I'll explain. There's newer people on, so I got a year and a half left of school, and then I'll be done, right? So I think I've narrowed down my areas of practice that I would want to do. There's going to be some type of criminal law, and it's going to be some type of employment law, but also too to throw in for the trifecta, I guess. I do want to do some type of civil rights work, but it's going to be more so, it might be like wrongful death cases or excessive use of force cases, things of that nature, or some type of like, I don't know, like say police misconduct that ends in some type of injury or whatever, those types of things, I think I would get into. But as far as like doing what Benjamin Crump does, where he's just all in front of the cameras, which no disrespect to him, he's doing his thing. That's not something that I want to do. Let me see. So with your experience and corrections, you could become, yeah, I mean, I could. I got, hey, man, you got 15 credits left? Okay. That's good. Yes, it is exhausting, but like you said, man, it will be worth it. But again, I'm not trying to knock Benjamin Crump. You know what I'm saying? Benjamin Crump, he's doing a great work, but I can just say that's just not what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? There's other passions of mine that I want to get involved with. But yeah, man, shout out to you, man. You got 15 credits away from getting your MBA. Hey, man, that ain't bad. Coming from a former CO, man, that ain't bad at all, man. I wish the other COs would take advantage, man. Like how you said, I know we chopped it up a while ago on here on a live, and you were just talking about how on the night shift, you would knock out that work, man. Get that book out, study, take your notes, do all that stuff. You should take advantage of that. What kind of law program are you in? What are your thoughts on the burial? Okay, so I saw the burial, man. So I'm in a part-time JD program. So it's considered, I guess you could say, non-traditional. So it's a part-time program. So part-time program, it takes 4 years, whereas a full-time program, it takes 3. But there's no way that I could do a full-time and still work. It's just no way. So the burial, I thought it was a really good movie. Definitely very inspirational, but just being honest, there were parts, and my wife was probably getting annoyed because there were certain segments, especially when the people were on the witness stand. And I guess this is just, because, with me being in law school and knowing, okay, that's not, they're not following the rules of evidence, or they're not following the rules of this, that, and the other. I was kind of nitpicking on certain things. But overall, if I just took my law school brain out of it, definitely a good movie. And the one thing that I can say, and I know some people won't believe me, but I just love the fact how Jamie Foxx, who was a black man and he was just this pro-black person or whatever, he put that to the side and he worked with, this white dude. And the white dude, I really respected his character because the young black attorney that was in the movie, he relied on his word. You know what I'm saying? So for a white dude, I think it was in Mississippi or something. So for an older white dude from Mississippi, to bring in, a young black lawyer, and to use him as a consultant, and then go and get another black attorney, Jamie Foxx's character, I really, really love that. Drew, congratulations. Yes, congratulations are in order. Are you feeling burnt right now for full times? Yes, I am burnt. Now, right now, I'm out on injury because I got hurt. I had gotten involved in a situation at work responding to several inmates fighting. I can't go into details about it, but I got hurt, getting in the mix. So right now, I've been off. But yeah, when I'm, going to work and doing school, it is a lot. But let me go back to the burial just for one more second. The burial, it was a very good movie, very inspirational. And to keep it real with you guys, man, I reached out to the real attorney, right? I don't know, I can't remember his real name, but it was the guy, the young black dude that tried to go to Jamie Foxx to try to get him to take the case. Him, right? So that attorney in real life, I reached out to him on Instagram. I haven't got anything back. I went online on Google and it said their law office was permanently closed. So I'm going to keep trying to reach out to him because, I don't know. I was just kind of drawn to his character. You could obviously tell that he was very, very smart. And I would just like to pick his brain. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he is still practicing law in some capacity or doing some kind of mentorship. But it was definitely good, man, to see that the attorney that Jamie Foxx played, he's still alive. And I thought that was really, really cool. See, Crump is a bottom feeder. He's doing anything beneficial for us. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of taboo to talk about, so I'm not going to run the brother down, but I definitely won't disagree with what you're saying. And I just know for me, and again, I can only speak on me. I don't want to go the route that Benjamin Crump is going. You know what I'm saying? You know the route that I would want to go? It's what is his name? Byron Stevens. Y'all remember that movie Just Mercy? Now here's the funny thing, right? It was the movie Just Mercy with Michael B. Jordan. Now I kid you not. What I'm about to tell you, this is true. There was an inmate, right? He was a lifer and he was on my work detail, but he was also a legal beagle. And this dude had a life sentence. He was on my work detail, but he was helping other inmates either get immediate releases to go home or like major reductions in sentences. So he told me about this dude, Byron Stevenson. And this was before the movie came out, or even before they even started like doing like PR for the movie. And he was like, man, you got to check out this dude, man. This dude, he's legit. He's been to the Supreme Court numerous times. He's been successful, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And for me, I would like to try to model after that. I'm not saying I want to take on death row cases, but I'm just saying that I would like to be effective without, all of the glitz and glam and the attention. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to focus on the work. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, I know to an extent, you have to do PR. You have to get your name out there because a lot of times, the success of your practice is going to be about word of mouth. It's going to be about PR, commercials, people knowing about you. So obviously, to an extent, I have to do that. But I can say for me, though, I just want to be real. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my practice of law to be like commercialized. I don't want it to seem like it's a gimmick. I just want to be able to be a flat-footed, just straight up brawler and a fighter for people, if that makes sense. Always get someone else to pay for school. Say what you want about government work. If you do it right, you can get tuition assistance, buy pension year. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Drew, man, you preaching tonight, bruh. Absolutely. I would say for anybody, obviously anybody that has a job, but if you have a government job and it allows you the opportunity to study or to do other things, take the opportunity, especially like what the bruh Drew said. If your government job provides tuition assistance, you will be a fool not to take advantage. Now, my job doesn't offer, well, they don't offer tuition reimbursement, but they do. It's weird. Like they'll do some type of like a payment program if you have student loan debt. But as far as like say being an active student in school and getting reimbursed, they won't do that. But absolutely, man. You did it right, man. You did it right, Drew. You was you was at work, working the night shift. You had them books with you, studying, doing all that stuff. That's how it should be done. Do you know there are more attorneys? Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard there's more attorneys, but I don't know if that's actually true or not. But I do know, even with, and here's the crazy thing, right? Even with the amount of attorneys that we have, there's still no, I don't know how to explain it, right? Again, let's just assume that fact to be true, right? Let's assume, okay, there's more attorneys than there are police. Well, even though there are more attorneys, it still doesn't feel like that within the court system, And a lot of the attorneys, and as quiet as it's kept, there are a lot of attorneys that are working in professions that they're not passionate about. They don't care about it, but they have to do it because they have to pay off those student loans. And student loans, are vicious. Like I remember I was talking to one of these government attorneys, right? And she was just telling me she retired already, but she was close to retirement and she went to school like over 20 years ago. And she said, based on whatever the type of loan that she had and, the interest and all that stuff, she said she almost owes the same amount as she borrowed when she went to school. And it is crazy. It cost so much money. So there are a lot of attorneys that they don't want to practice. Like I got a homegirl right now, right? Shout out to you if you're watching it. She's passionate about environmental stuff, animals, things of that nature. But unfortunately, she's having to work in juvenile court and doing other things because she has to, pay them bills. You know what I'm saying? She has to pay back whatever the student loan situation is, whatever it is. So she's gonna build to being able to work in the environment she wants to work in. But just for right now, she can't. I have some great mentors. No, let me go back. So I just got done by seventh month. Okay, that's good. That's good. Every bit counts, man. I have some great mentors and told me to learn from their mistakes. Absolutely. Thank God I'm not a part of the student loan. Yes, man, that student loan situation, it is vicious. And it's funny, man, because you'll hear some people saying, I'm about to get my girl to start a OnlyFans website and show her feet, man, so I can pay these student loans. Yes, doctors, man, it's funny, man, because I was talking to my pastor, right? He's a medical doctor, a real medical doctor, and doctors, they have to go through their training. It is crazy. They have to go through obviously your undergrad and all that stuff, but then I think regular medical school is like 4 years or something, and then you got to do like several other years where you got to do like a residency and all these other. It's a lot. And that's why, when you hear this debate about, who has it harder, what's harder, medical school or law school. Now, obviously, I've never been to medical school, but in my opinion, I would say medical school, in my opinion, my limited and baseless opinion, I would say it's medical because you just have to do a lot. Let's see, people are screwed who didn't pay off their loans in the last few years, and they're screwed. Yeah, man. Yeah, obviously. Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, I say if you're thinking about law school or whatever, you know what I'm saying, holla at me, man. If you got a question for me or whatever, man, if you got a question about the prison life or something might have happened in the news or whatever it might be, man, holla at me. You got me on here. I'm gonna be on here for a few more minutes. So I got a relative who's a doctor and he got a full ride, but he tells kids not to go to medical school unless you have a. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that for sure. Because I would say, okay, so for law school, right? If you go and this is, you can go online and research this for yourself. For law school, if you just go to a basic ABA school, right? It doesn't even have to be any top name school. Any basic ABA school that you go to, you're gonna be looking at paying altogether. It's probably gonna be like, I don't know, like 50 50 to 70 fit between 50,000, or no, I'll say between 40,000 to $70,000 a year. So when you're done just with law school, just the tuition, it's a easy six figures. You're going to be close to 100,000, and that's just at a basic ABA law school. Now, if you go to obviously a top tier T14 school, you're going to be paying way more. But I would say for law school, if you just go to a basic ABA, you'll probably be at around, and this is just a guesstimate, you'll probably be around, I don't know, maybe 100 to, I don't know, maybe 120, 130,000, right? But for medical school, you're getting up to like 300 and $400,000. And I got a homegirl, she went through medical school. She's a practicing doctor. And yeah, I want to say I think she racked up about 300,000. And then depending on what practice you get in or what schools you go to, if you're in the world of psychiatry, or if you're like a psychologist or whatever, that costs a gang of money too. And I know this girl now. I would say this girl was kind of irresponsible, right? She's a government worker, but she is a psychologist, but she has $500,000 in debt. Now, I would say, in my opinion, there was some irresponsibility on her part because she went to I think like NYU or something, all these other big fancy name schools, and so it racked up over time. So post 9/11, yeah, Bill. Okay, so you was a veteran. Okay, shout out to you, man. Let's see, pay cash for cars, absolutely. Yes, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, man, for medical school, if you decide to go to medical, whoo, yeah, you're gonna be, from what I understand, it's gonna be a minimum of 300 to $350,000 in debt. That you're gonna have to pay. But for me, I go to a state accredited, not an ABA, and I do that because I don't have to worry about the massive amounts of debts. And one day I'll do a video because there are people that ask me on Instagram. They'll inbox me, "Hey, should I go to and ABA, I mean, accredited versus non-accredited, all those different things. And I'll definitely provide those. I'll do some videos on that. My buddy in the military was a pharmacy tech and joined the military and used his benefits to get his doctor. Yeah, man. If you veterans out there, you know what I'm saying, you get that money for school. And then if you got that veteran disability, I know some cats, man, this dude I started with, right, on my department, he was telling me because he was in the Marine Corps and he retired out of the Marine Corps straight and he got injured. So he was getting a VA disability. So between his retirement, right, his military retirement and his VA disability, he said he was at $6,000 a month. Now it's probably more since then because this was like, shoot, man, this was years ago. But yeah, based on his retirement from just his regular military retirement, and he was 100% VA disabled, he said he was at about $6,000 a month. And that didn't even include what he was making from our job working for the department. So yeah, man, so people that were in the military, they absolutely have an opportunity. All these people saying they won't pay back these loans are screwed. Yeah, man. They better yeah, man, they're gonna get busted upside the head, man. Because that's one thing. They're not gonna forget that student loan debt. They ain't gonna forget that, man. But I see there's a few more people that got on, man. Holler at me, man. If you saw a video that you liked, or if you saw a video that you didn't like, or if there was something in the video where you want me to expound a little more or kind of explain things a little further. I know there were some people that kind of the numbers for my size page did well, but the video about the people that drop out of prison gangs, I know some people had mixed feelings about it, but people got to understand, I'm not an inmate, I'm not a convict. I'm a CO, so my perspective on things is going to be different. I don't have a problem with the person that decides to drop out of a gang. You know what I'm saying? Because they're tired of the prison politics. They're tired of receiving orders to go stab people or go beat people up. They're tired of doing that. And they're just like, look, man, this is holding me back from being able to get home and to see my family. And, I want to go home. So I definitely, I get that. Guys I work with use rental properties. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's definitely the way to go, man. But I definitely want you guys to check out my video that's dropping tomorrow. Please check that out and spread it with other people because I'm telling you, man, I grew up in the black church, church culture, and with me working in the prisons, I deal with all the different racial cards. And one thing that is crazy is the black inmate prison politics in California. It is almost the exact mirror image of the black church politics nationwide. And I know it's weird because that's polar opposites. How could you say that, black inmate politics in a prison would be almost the same as black churches? But when I drop the video, you're going to see, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So be on the lookout for that video that's going to drop. I didn't expect the Gunners video to do that well because the Gunners video where I talked about them stealing people's content, that's not. I know the crowd for that wouldn't be that much. It's not where they're struck. Yes, they are struck, and it's so. And now I can say this part right. The crazy thing was when I first started working with the adult men, right? I was under this false assumption that they're going to, be unified. They're going to work together. All these different things because they're in a dangerous environment. You know what I'm saying? They're in an environment where at the drop of a dime, it can become life and a death situation. And so I just was under that assumption that they're going to work together, they're going to be unified, but I was absolutely wrong. And I realized that the black inmates, they are just as disorganized as black folks on the street. I mean, and it's like it doesn't matter where at least American black folks are. I can't really speak about black people, outside of America. But one thing I can say is it don't matter where black folks in America are. You could be on the moon, the stars, under the ocean, wherever it is. It seems like you're gonna have that same common denominator that deals with division. It's amazing how indoctrinated young gamer. Yes, man, it's so crazy how they are. Just like the military. Very yes, you are, and you know what, man, you are very right. Now I know some people in the military they might take offense to it, but there are a lot of similarities, and I'm gonna do a video on that too, man. But there are a lot of similarities between the military structure and these gang structures, at least in California, right? Now I can't speak on or elaborate on how prison politics works throughout the rest of the country, like down south, the east coast, the midwest. But as far as California, it's very structured, it's very militarized. You know what I'm saying? You got your generals, you got your captains, you got your lieutenants, you got your foot soldiers. They got to give orders, all that stuff. It's a lot. Gang members just yes, gang members absolutely get. That's why I said in that video about, people that drop out of gangs, they deserve respect because they realize, man, I'm just a pawn in this game. Y'all just using me. I'm tricking away my date to go home to be with my family. And they see the bigger picture and they don't want nothing to do with it. They have taught, they haven't been taught, right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so it's the same on the East Coast. Cause see, I don't. Now it's funny, man. Cause I've had people that they've came from the East Coast or down south, and they'll do time in California, and they're just blown away because they're like, man, I didn't know California was so racist. This, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, those aren't rules that the COs enforce. That's stuff that the inmates enforce. Right. It is predatory. The inmates, they do that. We don't have no, you know what I'm saying? So we know that they're going to racially segregate on them on their own. So you just have to adapt and you have to just, move forward. But yeah, man, there's been people on the East Coast. New York is more covert with it. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But I'll tell you a quick story, man. Then I got to get out of here. So there was this dude. I don't know if he was from New York. He was somewhere either New York or down south. And so he was doing time at our facility. He was just passing through. So he was telling me about how he had a difficult time with doing time in California prisons because where he came from, he talked about, you were on man time. And man, what's going on, Brian X? I don't want to butcher your name, man. My bad, man. But holla, shout out to you, man. But he was just talking about how wherever he came from, they were on man time. So that means if you have a problem with an inmate, you go to that inmate, you call that inmate out, you guys go in the cell or you go whatever, you duke it out, and then it's over. It didn't matter if you were black, white, green, purple, yellow, whatever it was. But on the West Coast, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? If a black dude has a problem with Southsider or has a problem with a white dude or whatever, that white dude and that black inmate, they can't do no head up phase. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going against the West Coast program. So this dude, he had told me, he was like, man, I was at this other prison in Northern California, and he was talking to the Southsider about something. And this was his first time doing time in California. And he was like, man, I had a disagreement with the Southsider, and he was like, I told him, hey man, we can go in the cell and handle it. And he said, as soon as he said that, he said the whole unit got quiet, and he was looking around, and he was like, what's going on? And so one of the black dudes immediately pulled him over, and he was like, hey man, I don't know where you from, but wherever you from, we can't do that here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you fight one, you got to fight them all. Ain't no head up phase. Now obviously people across the country they have their own opinions about that. Gangs are so stupid. Yeah, man, it's absurd, man. I have always said that the American public school system only prepares people for the military. Yeah, I think there might be some truth to that. That's just how it used to work on the streets of New York, but not between. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, man, it's just it is what it is, man. If you a white boy and you go into prison, the white boys is gonna scoop you up. They're gonna check your paperwork. They're gonna make sure you good, and if you are, you can ride with them. Same with the other races. It's just it is what it is. But I have definitely heard from people that are not from California, and they just say, "Man, California has the most racist um, system. in the United States. And this again, this is from people from down south. They grew up, in Klan towns and had the rallies and the Confederate flags, and they're telling me that we more racist in California than them. You know what I'm saying? That's absurd, man. It's crazy to me, man. But I'm about to bounce, dip out. But please, man, tomorrow I'm gonna drop that video about black inmates and black churches having the same issues. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be an eye opener for certain people because certain people, they just, for whatever reason, they just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I definitely enjoyed this live. I'm trying to figure out this live schedule and how I'm going to do it. But all I say, man, is just, keep looking out, man, for my lives and just keep rocking with me, man. So the next one, man, I'll holler at you guys. Y'all be safe and God bless.